Welcome back everybody to Bot 10 Art. My name is Lazaro Gomez and today we're doing a piece inspired by Ghost in the Shell. The original film came out in 1989, but I didn't see it until 97, and I'm really excited about the live action film that's coming out at the end of this month, and I wanted to incorporate it into the 52-week challenge. So I saw the trailer and I saw these, I guess, robotic geisha dolls that are really cool. They were really cool looking, and I wanted to do a piece of artwork that kind of showcased that. And I also saw this other video by but it was Adam Savage. He did a tested video where he went to Wetaworks, and Wetaworks are the company that created these, and it was really cool because the director wanted to not have these characters be CGI. So they went out and 3D printed every single piece that was worn by the actors. There was also, I guess, like an analog figure that was 3D printed and assembled, and it was really cool. I'll have a link. I'll have a link to that video at the end in my card. But I'm using all my standard tools: my Pentel, the Dollaroni watercolors, and also the 140-pound cans and paper. So I did a sketch. I started doing all the watercolor. I'm also using a different watercolor brush. It is the, I guess, I picked it up at Michael's. It's called Royal Taklon, but it is a number 6 round, and I used that in the beginning, and then I switched over to the Pentel. I really liked using that pen. It was pretty, or that brush. It was really neat. And like I said, I really like the look of this geisha assassin, and I wanted to just do a piece with it, and that's what I did. So here I am doing all the hair color, and sorry if I'm moving the page around too much, but it's just easier for me to work that way. Going back to the movie, I don't know how, like, I want the film to be really good because I'm a big fan of Ghost in the Shell. I just don't know how it's going to translate with the live action characters and Scarlett Johansson. I mean, it goes back and forth. A lot of people are with it, a lot of people are not. But I'm hoping that the film is really good, and I can't wait to see it. So that's the reason why I did this sort of thing. But if you haven't seen Ghost in the Shell, it follows the story of Bato and Major Kosunagi, who are trying to catch a cyber criminal called the Puppet Master. So I'm hoping that it stays true to the original anime, and they show a lot of really cool special effects and stuff like that that were in the anime. So, and it looks that way. I mean, based off of the trailer, from what I've seen, it looks that way. So. I wanted to do something that was related to Ghost in the Shell. And then I started thinking, well, maybe I could do something with Major Kosunagi, but that character is, I guess, so popular that everybody does Major Kosunagi. And I wanted to do something a little bit different, and the geishas like really stood out to me because I've always liked the, those characters and stuff like that. Just, real life geishas are really neat, and the whole history behind them, and just to see them being incorporated in the film is really cool, and I'm excited about that. So that's why I chose this particular character. It is, I switched over to the Pentel, and I wanted to keep everything, of course, very light. I didn't want to do any line art for this particular piece. I knew that I wanted to bring it into Photoshop and do some digital effects, like kind of, I don't know, like put a mosaic effect on the image and kind of um, brighten up the colors so it looks like a digital display. I don't know if I'm explaining that correctly or not, but that's kind of the idea I had behind it. So this is more of a watercolor painting than an illustration. because usually I lay down all the color and then I do all the line art, whether it be an illustrator or actual line art. But in this go around, I didn't want to do any line art, and that's what I'm doing here. I'm just focusing on the image and treating it more as a painting than anything else. So here I'm putting in the details of the chair that the geisha is holding, and I based on the trailer, this happens in the opening scene where Major Kosunagi dives in and I guess intervenes in what's going on here. But the geishas are meant to serve, and somehow they've been hacked and they are, I guess, assassinating assassinating the guest or the people that are in that room. And again, it's an assumption based on the trailer. I don't know for sure if that's what's really happening, but that part of the film seems to look really, really awesome, and I can't wait for that. Right now, I'm adding the details on the kimono that the geisha is wearing, and looking at the geishas, it looks like a piece of plastic that is underneath the cloth, and the light is reflecting off of that glass and kind of doing different hues. So it goes from dark blue to this almost like a yellow tint, and I tried to capture that using watercolor. I don't know, hopefully I hopefully I was successful at that. But now I'm just filling in spaces, and I guess the reference image that I used, she was facing the other way, and I inverted the image that way I can work with this one, because I kind of liked it facing the other way rather than what I saw online. And again, I didn't want to add a lot of heavy color. I just wanted it to look like a watercolor, but with a digital effect to it. And hopefully I captured that. Hopefully I captured that with this image. Another thing is the hair is slightly different, and I know it is because if you look at the reference, then you'll see that it parts to the sides, and then there's one middle where it's being held with some kind of brooch. But I wanted to incorporate my own little style, so it's kind of like my version of it. Or if I was to do the concept art for the geisha, it would be, what you see here. So, adding my own flavor to it and kind of going along with it. But I had a lot of fun creating this. It's just really neat imagery, really nice to work with. Smaller paper, so of course there's no buckling, and it worked out really, really well. I was really happy with that. Right here, I ran into a little bit of trouble. I didn't have any masking fluid. If not, I would have covered all that up and then done the red and gone back and then fill in those spaces. But I didn't have any fluid with me, so I did my best going around all these different shapes and stuff like that with the Pentel, and that's where the Pentel really shines. So I was happy about that. But that's pretty much getting close to a final product. I'm just going over the red just to heighten it up a little bit, and now you'll see the Photoshop image and all the effects that I did there. So yeah, like I said, I had a lot of fun with it. I'm excited about the film. Let me know what you guys think. If you guys are excited about the movie, if you're not excited about the movie, just leave me some comments below, and I'll definitely read them and see, because I'm curious to see what you guys think. But for the most part, that's it. That's pretty much it. So here's the image after Photoshop, and what I did is I created a layer and used a filter that does a mosaic pattern, and then I laid that on top of the image, and I did some slight color corrections. I didn't like the way that the photograph came out. I tried a photograph and I tried a scan, but it didn't really give me the desired effect that I wanted. So I messed with the colors a little bit, got it to where I want it, and then here's the final product. As always, thanks for watching. Thanks for liking, commenting, subscribing, and we'll see you next time.